All right, let's talk about some things not to do. And first of all, I can't blame any of these any of these tactical training places for doing exercises like this. I think it's a great idea. What I don't know is whether or not, after all this is said and done, they are watching the footage saying, great job, guys, or they're looking over this stuff and being like, okay, now let's see what we're effective at and what we're not effective at. Because I can tell you right now, personally, there's all sorts of things wrong here already. This guy's mounted a bag, which is supposed to be the bad guy, right? And I could see some kind of scenario where somebody attacks you, you grapple, you manage to pull a pistol, and, you take a few shots at them. Something like this, okay? Thing is, it's never going to look like this. First and foremost, the guy has both hands on his pistol. You honestly think that if you are grappling with somebody, even if you take them down to the ground, that you're going to be able to keep both of your hands on your pistol and just sit there and look at them? No. No, they are going to be grappled all over you. So their left hand should be off the gun, because your left hand you're probably going to be using to control your opponent instead of double-handing the pistol. And this is important to remember too, because if you have a pistol that you have to rack to use, you're probably only going to have one hand to do all of that while you're fighting somebody. So this is kind of an important thing to learn about. But let's see how this goes, okay? All right. Okay, so we saw that the guy took a bunch of shots at the punching bag's face. I mean, if you were grappling somebody, that's where their face would be. So he took a bunch of shots with the pistol, and then he started smacking the bag with the pistol. Let's just see how lackluster this is. Great. Okay. So if that bad guy is still alive after you shot him, and he very well could be, because you're shooting point blank, you could have shot him through the cheek, you could have grazed his head, there could be blood everywhere, and you think you got a headshot, but you didn't. And now you probably lost your gun. If you start smacking me with a gun like that, I'm gonna grab it. Notice how his left hand, his empty hand, is actually doing absolutely nothing. I would argue that is the hand that you want to be throwing punches and palm strikes with, not your gun hand. And that way, if your opponent manages to grab your hand and tries to tie you up, you still have a gun in your other hand, and you can shoot him in the chest or the stomach a bunch of times. I think this is... I don't know what this is. I don't know who came up with this, and punching people with the pistol like that, or doing these little slaps. You know what? If you are not effective at doing this, you need to know about it, because it's just going to get you disarmed. It's going to get your weapon taken away. I mean, I'm sorry. The other thing too is, you start slapping somebody with a pistol like this guy was just doing, you might shoot somebody else that's in the room. You better know what you're doing. Here he goes. He's off. And then let's do that 360. Beautiful. And okay, next guy. See how the next guy does. Tries to shoot him in the face. Again, why are we taking face shots right there? That could be evaded when you have this whole entire bag to shoot, right? If you shot somebody in the chest like this, they couldn't get out of the way of it. But clearly they are aiming for where the head would be. The head can move, right? You better believe that if you pull a gun at somebody and start trying to shoot them in the face like that, they're going to move their head left and right. Their chest is still going to be in the same spot, because they can't really get away from you. So let's see. Let's see how this guy does with the little pistol punchies. There you go. All right. He's getting some gore to come out. All in all, not bad. He did much better. The point is, I wouldn't do that. And You know, this might have to be one of those things that you try out to see how good you are at this, but I wouldn't smack people with a pistol because that's asking to get disarmed. You have a spare hand there. You work on your palm strikes, work on your punches with your left hand. Keep the gun away from your opponent. Okay? And then if the opponent starts grabbing your left arm and starts trying to tie you up, you can always shoot him in the chest, in the stomach, a part of him that's going to be there and is not going to move, right? You also do have to be careful in situations like this to not shoot yourself and to not shoot anybody that's around you. What if you started doing this and like flailing this pistol around and smacking people, and the gun went off and there's people around, right? You could accidentally shoot somebody around you. I wouldn't slap somebody with a pistol like that unless you really know what you're doing. And I wouldn't do it in a situation like this, is all I'm saying. Let's let this finish playing. All right, reload like a champ. Do you see how this guy did it? He held the pistol right in front of the bad guy's face and took like 5 shots. Bro. You need to hold that pistol back further so the bad guy can't reach it and just straight up disarm you on the spot. Also, if somebody could grab your pistol arm right here, if they're flexible enough, they could probably get you into some kind of arm bar, or they could wrap their legs around your head, because you're really focusing everything on that pistol arm, is all I'm saying. Little punchies, what are those? What is that doing? If you're throwing little punchies like that, you should know, because then if you get into a situation like that, your best bet might be to take a few shots and then to break contact. Break contact, get back, put distance between you and your enemy, and you have the gun advantage now. Instead of throwing all these little punchies, you should already be rolling off the bag and getting away from it, putting distance between you in the bag. Interesting little video from Tactical Response. I really hope these guys that are doing this really look over this video and think to themselves, okay, how effective was I? And how effective would this be in a real situation? Maybe I should cut and run instead of doing these little pistol punchy things that really aren't going to affect somebody the way that I think they are. Is all I'm saying. I'm all for these classes just because they put people into these different situations and they make them think about stuff. But even when you're taking these classes, this is proof that you still need to think for yourself. Later, everybody. Have a safe day.